9 a.m. I'm connecting with y'all. And today I'm gonna give you a brief overview of my new studio, my 2026 studio. This is like version 10.0. Like this has evolved so many times. So, we're gonna get into it, break into it, and let's go. That's my intro until I get one. Yo, what's up, y'all? A little tired. I ain't gonna hold you, but I always gotta show up for y'all. You know what I'm saying? Cause I love y'all. Y'all love me, and we love each other together. But I was trying to put it on this. Like this would have been much easier for me to work with because it got the long version, and I can go live on this. So I'm gonna tell you about this too. But let me just give you a breakdown. So when I moved into my new house a couple years ago, I said I have to have a theater because my last house had a theater, so I have to get a theater. So it was a room like kind of already pre-made for a theater. It was a blank room, but I had to put everything in it. I was like, all right, cool. It took me maybe 6, 7 months. This was the first room I did in my house because, this is my sanctuary. And I built the room out. I built the theater out. Now, a couple things that had to happen, right? I was like, I want to shoot content. I want to make content still, but I'm gonna use my other room for content. Which, when you first see me going live the beginning of last month, that's where I was, and that's like more of a studio vibe. And it was cool. It was a nice nice setup. I would still use it. You know what I'm saying? I'll still use it. Not like I won't use it, but I wanted to create an even better experience. But before that, let's not go too far. I'm really taking this speaking thing serious, right? And in the process of me building my movie theater, I didn't get a I didn't get what you call a projector screen because if you stand in front of a projector screen, you're gonna get shadows and stuff like that, or it's gonna block out the screen. So I said I have to get this LED screen, and I went, I did my research and found the best LED screen for the least amount of money. I found that one, and I ended up getting that LED screen. So now I can put anything on that screen, and if I stand in front of it, it doesn't show shadow because I'm not blocking anything. It's like a big TV. So that was one of the things. So I knew I was going to shoot content from it, right? And because I shoot content in front of it, and it's for like Earn Your Leisure, all the businesses that I own, you guessed it, it's a tax write-off, right? So I wanted to make sure that, because it is still expensive for LED screen. So I wanted to make sure that I could write it off and also use it for speaking. So I end up getting that screen. I end up finishing my theater, right? It looks nice. I'll show you a little bit of it. But the only thing is that the next thing was I wanted to become a speaker, right? I want to get comfortable at speaking. I want to become a better speaker. And one of the things that I wanted to we gotta get these people in here making these stupid comments out of here. I wanted to before I wanted to practice on speaking and get better at speaking. So what I started to do, I started to think about ways I can create this theater into a stage, right? And that's when I bought a stage. I bought like a stage, literally a stage. And it was pretty difficult because I still use it as a theater. So I was trying to make a transition, an easy transition from using the theater, using it to speak, using the theater, using it for content, using the theater. So it was pretty hard. Then I came up with this solution to put the lights in the ceiling, right? Instead of moving these light poles all around and like, so now I don't have to worry about moving lights. That was one thing I got out the way. The next thing was, you know, the lights were not bright enough, or it didn't look perfect like I wanted it to because it was so much light in back of it. So I had to bring the stage up. That was the next thing. So I brought the stage up. Now the cameras, I would have to undo the cameras. I have to undo all the wiring, all that stuff. That was another process, right? I had to fix that. And that comes to Ty. I went to Market. We had a Market Mondays live event in DC a couple weeks ago, and Ty runs our video production at our events. Him and B, and he had a setup that was like I couldn't unsee it, right? And what I seen was, he was using like I always had like this wireless transmitter thing, video transmitter, but I never really liked to use it because I had to charge so many batteries, right? And I just was like, this is not gonna work, right? It's not gonna work, too much work. But the way he did it was he had a V mount battery, right? And he would charge everything on the on the tripod, whether it was the transmitter, the camera, any capsules or whatever. It would. So now I'm like, wow, I couldn't unsee that. I couldn't unsee that. I'm like, this is kind of crazy because I can literally just have nothing attached to this camera and no wires and just have it on the tripod and just move it around. And I don't need an HDMI cable, right? Right. I'm like, dope. This is dope. This is dope. I like this. I like this. So that's when it put me to the drawing board and made me think about making my theater a podcast studio. And that's where we are today. And this is like version 10. Like if you remember, if anyone rocks with me from the beginning, version one was a black wall with purple things and it said EYL Studio ATL. If anybody rocks with me from day one, they would know that. Right? That was version one. And then version two and version three, and this has got to be like version 10. I don't know the exact version, but man, I'm gonna show you. So the goal in this whole thing was making the easy transition from studio to theater to studio. And that was my big thing, right? So let me just show you this. So this is the wall, right? This wall could put anything on this wall. You've seen this wall. You could put anything on this wall, right? These are LED panels right here. These are LED panels, right? I could put anything on here. So this would be like, an add-on to the screen, right? Now, this is what I was talking about for the lights. These lights are now in the ceiling. I don't have to touch this light ever. I used to have to move lights when I first started to have this studio, but now I don't have to touch lights. All the lights are in the studio. The only thing I have to do is take this off sometimes, but I don't even have to take this off because it's so high up, right? So these are my 5 lights. I have 5 lights. I'm going to put some backlights down here, but, whatever. Now, this is the stage, right? I put this stage. Now, this stage, it used to be on the back of the wall. The problem was it caused shadows, and it didn't give enough depth, right? If you don't know what depth is, it makes you stand outside of the picture. That's what depth is. So this is why I moved it up, right? I moved it up, but also I moved it up so the lighting could hit this harder and less of the LED screen hitting the people, right? So now I got this set up. I can literally, don't have to move lights. This is a little issue, right? I'll work on this next. This will be the next transition. But then again, it's only a couple chairs. Take the chairs off. You could even put them to the side. I could put them over here, one over here, and watch a movie. Because this doesn't move, right? I don't have to move this. This don't have to be moved anymore. Because you could walk around it. You could walk in front of it. I could push that to the back. I could push this here to the back. So now, it's not too bad, right? And then it brings me to the key to this situation. This right here. This thing right here changes the game for me. The wireless transmitter, right? Shout out to Ty. I give Ty credit, right? I got the V-mount battery goes here, right? And everything is charged right now because we got to shoot in a little bit. Everything goes into this battery. Everything goes into this battery. So I don't need a battery here because it's one battery charging the camera, charging the wireless transmitter, right? And what I also got was a wireless transmitter for the audio because the audio comes into this camera and goes into the thing. So I'm gonna show you, right? So this is the camera, right? So this is the camera, right? You can literally move it around. It's not attached to anything. And I got these, shout out to Don Vito. He actually he put me onto these iPhoto footage stands, right? I love these stands. They're very, very, strong. They hold up. They're really dope. They're really dope. They're really dope. So I got those stands, right? And then I bought more of these tripods. the tripod heads, right? Because this is dope. Look what this could do. Let me see if I could do it. Like you could press this button. Yeah, I can't do it one hand. Let me see. Oh, thanks, Chad. Thanks, Chad Ubiwa. Appreciate you. How long was I on mute for? Well, this right here is called the YOLO Extreme, right? I'm gonna go back to that. And I literally, this is like, think of this as A10 mini, A10 mini, what's that? The A10 mini, switcher or eCam. This is everything built in one. I don't even need a computer. I don't need anything. This connects to Wi-Fi, has Wi-Fi antennas. It does everything. It has 4K in every single, unlike A10 mini is 1080p. This has 4K everywhere, right? It has 4K in 5 slots. And then you could hook up NDI cameras. You could do so many things. And these are the other wireless transmitters right here. These are for the microphone, and I connect these lavalier mics. Now I've had these lavalier mics for a really long time. These lavalier mics are equivalent to having a SB7. These are like $450 a piece. These aren't no like childhood like no play mics. These mics are really really good. So I connect these mics to here, and now I get audio into the camera through the HDMI, and it comes into here, records right into here. Now, I may use a soundboard too, because I do notice that, the soundboard, it processes the audio a little bit better, I will say. But with all the technology and AI and stuff, you could do a lot of things. Now, you might say, you got batteries here. I thought you didn't want to recharge batteries. I found this device, right? So this, right, and I only have to charge this maybe twice a month because I think it gives it like 10 hours. So each battery, 10 hours. So I'll switch it out 10 hours, boom. I'll do those for 10 hours. So it does, it's not a lot, right? So it's not too much, but and I'm recharging 4. Now, the only other thing I want to talk to you about is, hold on. And then these lights on the wall, just for decoration. This is for the theater, though. I did this for the theater, but I could change these any color. And then the last part I added, the 2 things I added was, this is the confidence monitor. So this is going to show you everything that I see. So if I switch an angle, you're going to see it. So the guest that's sitting here could see it. Now, so this was another thing I added. I said I had to add this somehow. And this is the other thing I added, the slide. The slide to change to go back and forth, and you got the Wi-Fi. So that is the studio. Tell me in the comments, how y'all like it? How y'all like it? How do y'all like it? Yes, it records ISO. It records ISO. Yes. So I let it, and it records 4K, all 4K things. So this is the thing. I had these other wireless transmitters, and these other wireless transmitters were actually they were 1080p, and I'm like, I spent way too much money to transmit 1080p to that receiver because that receiver takes 4K. And when I tell you the difference from using these, I had to return those and use these. When I tell you the difference, it's night and day. Getting that 1080 signal versus that 4K signal, it's night and day. And I had to switch to the Acer. I don't even know how to pronounce it, but they from White Plains, New York. So if you know White Plains, come on, citizens. You know it's the iPhoto. It's the iPhoto Nano slider. You know, and that slider is pretty dope. I've set it up already. I can't wait to use it. It's gonna be the first time I use it. I have zooms. These zooms are important. 70-200. But this is my studio tour. This I'm gonna probably take this video down and really do a dope video about it because I invested a lot into the studio. I invested a lot of time, a lot of money. I invested, just so many creativity, idea, thinking, and imagination, and like trying to make this as fluid as possible because I want to be able to shoot, but I also want to be able to enjoy a movie when I want to enjoy a movie. So that was the big thing, and because Ty really, like, I ain't gonna hold you, Ty really got my engine running for this because I literally was tired of moving chords and this and that. That was because I seen him with the battery charging everything. And it's not that I didn't know. It's just you just don't when you see it and feel it and touch it, it's different. And once he put me on, I just was like, my engine just started running. Like, how can I make this experience an experience? Like, wait until you see Market Mondays or Earn Your Leisure come down here. Wait, just wait. It's gonna be crazy. Like, and on top of that, if you want to see how the production looks, Thursday on Hardly Initiated, that will be the first time that you would see a production coming from this particular setup because I literally recorded Thursday's episode from this setup. So that's what I'm recording Thursday's episode from this setup. So if you do want to see how it looks, definitely tune into Hardly Initiated, 7 p.m. But I think this is a really, really dope setup. I know this is a really dope setup. I put a lot of time into it. I think it's very efficient. This row, like eventually, maybe a studio audience or something, like, just friends and family. Like guests come with like one or two people. They can't sit in this row. This row, I believe, is off limits. Maybe they could sit down there and down there, but I gotta figure out. That's gonna be the next thing I figure out how to get these in the ceiling, so I can. And if you got any suggestions, let me know. But I want to get this stuff, these three things out of this row, so this row becomes available again. I was going to get two screens, put one here and one over there, and it'll just take whatever's on that camera, so at least they can see themselves while they're looking. So I was thinking about that. I don't know if I'm gonna do that. I'm still thinking about that. And the slider, I can get a better lens and I could put it over here. I could put it right here and it could slide right there, but then it blocks. I really would want it in the ceiling. Like if I put it in the ceiling right here, I think it would be dope, but we'll see. I'm still working on it. I'm still adding little things. The sound was really hard to like dial in. Like I had to dial it in with that YOLO Extreme. I really had to dial in, but that YOLO Extreme it's pretty expensive. It's $2,000. But yo, that thing comes out with updates every single month, and like every update blows your mind. Like last month was the XML file. So now, you know how when you're cutting up for all my video producers and stuff, when you're doing a video and you're cutting things up, if you made a mistake and did the wrong cut, you can now take an XML file, bring it into Final Cut, and you can change that edit because it brings those edits. It brings a project file into Final Cut where you got all the different edits. It brings those edits right into Final Cut. But also, which is pretty cool, that they don't really talk about is you can do the 1080 because this thing could overheat. So you can record in 1080p, right? So, or 2K. you can record in 1080p or 2K, right? And get those ISO files of all the different camera angles, and then record on your camera and take those video files and put those video files as the source instead of the 2K files, because those are 4K files where it won't, and it'll take your edit and then export it and then, get rid of the 4K file. So you can do that too, but, obviously seamless. You want it to be as seamless as possible. You want it to be easy as possible. So this is the thing. This is why. What is that? This is why I tried. I kept, reiterating different iterations of this setup, because I want it to be as easy as possible, as seamless as possible, and I want people to be able to come in, watch a movie if that's what it is, or want to come out and record a podcast. So that's what I have for y'all today. I hope y'all enjoyed it. I will probably delete this video. Pretty sure I'm going to delete it, and I'm going to do a different type of video and with a full production video of this, because I think this is this is like, I usually don't tap myself on the back, but this one I'm tapping myself on the back because I really outdid myself. I ain't gonna hold you, but thank you guys. I appreciate you guys for rocking with me. Love y'all. See y'all 9 a.m. later.